Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Indie Initiative HelpDesk show. I hope you guys enjoy what you're about to see. Today, we're going to be talking about networking, and that's going to be a very major, important part of today's show. So if you take a look, some of the things you're going to see are networking, the hows and whys, creating opportunities, things like secret advertising, be everywhere, constantly improving your stream, watch your own stream, it helps. And then we have a Q&A period at the end of the show so that you guys can talk about everyone and find out what's going on and find out answers to questions that you've always wanted to find out. And that's what we're here for today. Guys, I've got a couple of people here in TeamSpeak. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself. Omega, are you there?
Yep.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, so my name is Omega Primal. I am the administrator of this channel. Andy is the owner, but I'm still the administrator. And I'm also part of the ND Army stream team. And if you don't know me, well, boo you.
So yeah, that's Omega. He's a great guy. He pretty much runs this entire show. He keeps everything going. And let me tell you, when it comes to networking, we're really glad that we have Omega here because he's going to be very, very important for a lot of examples that I'm going to be giving here today. Sprocket, you here?
I am here, and so is Little Troll behind me, so you might hear him a little bit rambling on and off.
Oh, perfect. That's why it's fun.
I am Sprocket. Some know me as Sprocket the Baby Lock, depending on what game we are playing. I do a lot of charity streaming. I am part of Rise Up Gaming. I am also part of RGN Network. Of course, TII wouldn't have it any other way. Crucible Gaming networking system, so that works in perfect for today since it's one of the things that we are talking about. And most of my streams are PG or G rated, so if anybody caught it earlier, you would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Alright guys, so those are the two people that we currently have in TeamSpeak. More people are going to come and go as we do the show, and they're great people. Unfortunately, if they're not here at the beginning or the end, you know, we don't get to find too much about them. We'll try to push that information out there when we can, but, you know, sometimes things happen. Alright, so we've got a ton of stuff to go over today and not much time to cover it in. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to just get a volume check. Anybody that happens to be listening to the actual stream, if you could just let me know if you could hear Omega, if you can hear Sprocket, and if you can hear myself perfectly fine. It'd be great if you could just go ahead and just type in chat or let us know somehow. That'd be terrific. If you're having problems with the music being too loud or anything like that, because I have made a bunch of changes to my machine, and I haven't had a chance to test it, so I really don't know. And Zeke, I want to thank you for typing out all those shoutouts for everybody. That is terrific. Thank you very much. I do want to take the time to let you guys know, though, that if you see a sword in this channel, that is a streamer. That streamer is somebody that you can, of course, go to and see. You can follow them. You can do whatever you'd like. That's up to you. They do stream here on the Indie Initiative, and they do stream on their own channels a lot of the time. And check them out, guys. They are absolutely terrific. At Omega's phone, jeez. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to start in on networking, the hows and whys. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, my face is too far away. My face is too far away from what? The camera? Here, I'll get lots closer. Is that better? Hello. Up close and personal. Alright, so when it comes to networking, the main thing you're going to hear when you talk to a lot of broadcasters, especially bigger broadcasters, they're going to tell you networking is a very, very important thing, and that you got to make sure that you're doing your networking, or else you're not going to grow. But that's all they're going to tell you. They're not going to tell you what networking is. They're not going to tell you. At Omega, jeez. They're not going to tell you what networking is. They're not going to tell you how to do it. And they're not going to tell you the secrets to networking. And that's what we're here for today, to tell you the secrets. And so the first thing I'm going to do...
Sorry about that.
That's fine, Omega. It happens.
that was a ads that played without any, any warning. So my bad.
That's all right. That happens. All right.
Define networking.
Exactly, Cheetah. Define networking. So when I'm talking about networking, I'm talking about getting together with other streamers, no matter how.
Yep.
There's many different ways to do it. We're going to teach you the secrets of that here tonight. The secret ways of advertising, that's the second thing we're going to talk about. Secret advertising is very important. And the reason for that is because you have blatant advertising. Like as an example, at the beginning of the show, we do shout-outs for whoever's in the channel. At the end of the show, we do the same thing. But you need to know all of the various opportunities that you can do to let people know that you're a streamer without just running into people's channels and going, hey, I'm a streamer! And because nobody wants to see that. So that's going to be a big thing about today. Like dating or like a community. Honestly, we're probably going to talk about both. The same sort of thing. It's going to be, the community style. It's going to be the dating style. You're going to learn all the various ways that you can network when it comes to this. And a lot of it applies to not only streaming, but jobs as well. If you're looking to want to move up in your job, you're looking at wanting to expand on your job, get promoted, networking is key there as well. So it's going to be the same thing throughout that whole thing, and you're going to learn a lot. That's fine, Cheetah. If you want to be here, you want to watch, even if you're not a streamer, it's valuable lesson information, and you're going to learn things that you can use in your real life, not just in streaming. So the first thing when it comes to networking, and something that I've talked about before, I'm going to pull it out again. Business cards, guys. Business cards. It may not seem like a very important thing, but I've got my business card right here. Double-sided. It's got information on both sides. Beautiful business card. And you should too. If you are a streamer and you have the ability to do business cards, do it. Vistaprint. First of all, I have a 20% coupon here if anybody really needs it. But Vistaprint does give you a free 100 pack. So go get them made, get them printed, free shipping, you can get them out to yourself, and you get 100 business cards for free. And then if you like them, you can get more. I have, of this particular business card, I probably have about 400 left. I think I ordered 1,000. So when you go to things like cons, or you just go out and about in your regular world, leave business cards. Put business cards all over the place. Let people know that you're a Twitch streamer. It's gonna get you people, whether it's locally, whether it's at a con. It's gonna let people know that you're a Twitch streamer. Mine doesn't just let you know that I'm a Twitch streamer. It also lets you know that I do things like building custom websites, programs, automated chatbots for you and your community. So that is something that's actually printed along the bottom. I know you guys can't see it here on the camera very well, but that's what it says along the bottom. And that's because my major goal isn't about streaming. My major goal is to, one, teach. That's why I'm here. I started the show over on my stream. I moved it over here for more exposure for you guys to let you know exactly how to stream. And that's my thing, is I love teaching. I love helping out people. And so what I do is I create bots. I create things like that, which, by the way, you can private message me if you have any questions about that. Exactly, Sprocket. It's great, and it's not expensive. If you want to support local business, there are local print shops in your community that are not much more expensive than Vistaprint. So you can check them out if you want to support local business. How has the day been? The day has been hot. Very, very hot. It's probably 30 degrees Celsius in my office right now, which, as a Canadian, is way too hot. Some of you probably get that in wintertime. That would be approximately 83, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. I am dying, and as we go on, it's going to get hotter and hotter in here because I have these giant lights that produce a ton of heat. Okay, so, guys, just on the basics of what we've talked about, Omega, Sprocket, do you have anything you'd like to add on the business card front or something similar?
The business cards that I have, on one side, I actually do have, I do have the whole Twitch thing. It has Sprocket and all this cool stuff on it. On the back side of it, I really do have on there, if you need a charity streamer, please give me a call, and that's across the back of it. So you really do want something front and back. Vistaprint is awesome. I love them to death. If you don't get a double-sided card from them, the backside is going to be another business on your card. So it's worth paying that extra $10 for them to get something put on the back. So on the front of it, if you're going to make just streaming cards, make sure you have all the pertinent information to it. Like, I have on there that I'm part of, you know, which teams I know I'm going to stay part of for a long time. So you're advertising not just you're helping advertise the teams that you're on, which again is going to help promote you later on down the road. But if you do anything special like I do with the charity, make sure you put that on the back as well. Or if you have a whole different business that you do, make sure that's on the other side of it as well, and it's a double advertisement for you.
That is absolutely correct, and that's one thing I always state. Even honestly, if you're going to get a business card printed and you're not going to put anything on the back, my honest to goodness recommendation is put a picture, put something on the back, just so when you hand it to somebody, there's something there. Because if there's nothing there, it's going to say Vistaprint. And you don't really want your business card to say Vistaprint. I understand that, you know, everyone knows you probably got it from there, and this here is something you don't want to have another company's information on. You want your company alone, and so you can go ahead and even if you just put a logo on the back, they won't put that on there. So it's worth doing, although you can put a little bit of information. You don't want to cram your business card too much. This is like the maximum amount that you want to put on your business card. This is actually almost too much. A lot of people aren't going to read a lot of it. I have my details over here. I have my information over here. Never, ever, ever put any information more than once. So the only information you'll see here that's on here more than once is my name. Here we have Black Dog Z, on the back we have Black Dog Z, and it's written in the exact same font and style, exact same size, and it even says, best new streamer you didn't know about. That's right, everybody. So, looking around for a new headset and you thought you'd pop in. Well, I can tell you something. If you want, like, are you looking for a headset with a mic? Or are you looking for just like headphones? Because if you're looking for headphones, I'm going to recommend the Audio Technica. If you're looking for a headset, I'm going to recommend anything that uses a 2.5 millimeter adapter system. And the reason for that is because then you can use one of these. Now, mine's a little bigger than most, but what this is this is a 7.1 surround sound card, and it uses USB. And so, like, you can pick up like a Triton headset, which have a really good mic in them. Their speakers aren't great, but they're okay. And this here is going to allow you to plug that Triton headset in, and you're going to get feedback on yourself. You're going to get your actual voice in actual time. Now, a lot of people say they can't stand hearing themselves. That is wrong. You can't stand hearing a even slightly delayed version of yourself. But when you're talking, normally you hear yourself. So if I just take this off and I go like this, I can hear myself talking, and that's just a natural thing. So when you can't hear yourself talking, so if you're using an Audio Technica headset, let me grab that here. I have some headsets down here. Here's an Audio Technica. If you're using this Audio Technica headset, let me just go ahead and put it on over top here. You're going to notice, sorry guys, I put that on. Now I can't hear myself at all. Okay? This has got sound muffling, sound dampening, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Uh-oh. So that makes it so I can't hear myself, and that's a big thing, wearing a headset like that. So this here has this thing. Now, if you get a mic that also uses this style adapter, you can plug it into something like this, and you'll be able to hear yourself naturally, because it just feeds right back. If you pick up any type of gaming headset from Triton, most gaming headsets actually already have feedback in them, feedback loops, so you'll be able to hear yourself anyway. I have a Triton headset from Gears of War that's really, really nice, limited edition, and it is able to hear itself. And so that's something that some headphones just have naturally built in, which is really cool. I recommend it. If you can hear yourself, it's a great idea. Audio Technica is fantastic. I didn't know they made gaming headsets now. Man, that's great to know. Thank you, Rubix. Exactly. Lady Matrix has you there. That's exactly what you want. is the 3.5. Oh, get the 3.5 mil plugs. Honestly, 3.5 mil plugs are way better than getting the USB. And the reason for that is because you can use things like the 7.1 adapter. You can use things to allow yourself to hear yourself, which is a big thing when it comes to streaming. Because the one thing I learned is that if you can't hear yourself when you're streaming, you talk like this. I found that most streamers who can't hear themselves actually talk like this, and it's kind of annoying. So you'll notice that if a streamer can't hear themselves, they're very nasally. And I don't know about you, but I can't stand the nasally voice. That's a big thing for me. So make sure that you're not blocking off your hearing. That's the reason I'm using this cheap headset instead of using my really good mic right now, is just because I need to hear myself. I was finding myself too nasally, and that's something we're going to bring up later on in the stream about watching your stream. That's a big thing. But let's get back to networking, shall we? So what we're doing here, guys, right now is networking. As an example, people have come in, they've been talking, and we all know that the majority of people who are going to be watching the show are streamers. They don't have to come in here. They don't have to tell you they're a streamer. They don't have to say anything. They type in chat, ask questions, talk back and forth with people, and you immediately know they're in here on the help desk learning about streaming because they're streamers. So that's going to be just like the first little piece, is knowing when people are streamers. So now, as an example, you know Lady Matrix is a streamer. When you see her in another channel or her channel, you're still going to know that, and intuitively you're going to talk to her like she's a streamer. And so getting that word out, letting people know that you're a streamer without actually letting them know, is a very, very big piece. So that is a major section when it comes to networking. But what you didn't know is that the TII themselves is networking. If you join the TII, you're networking. You're meeting hundreds, potentially anyway, of other streamers. Streamers come, streamers go all the time. I've met so many streamers here in my short time at the TII that it's been terrific learning who the good streamers are and who the great streamers are, and who could use a little bit of work and trying to help them out with that. That's another thing we do here at the TII. We help each other out. We tell each other about issues with streams, things like that, and that's a major part of the TII, is helping each other out. To be honest with you, we do a lot of things that I could care less about. As an example, there is, in the background, there are different team speaks like we're using now. We've got the Skype system and a bunch of other things in the background, different groups and stuff that you can join to talk and things like that. I'm not honestly a huge fan of Skype. I never have been. But am I part of those groups? Absolutely, because it's going to let me know who the streamers are, who's on this channel, and talk back and forth with them and get to know them. Because you can't truly appreciate a streamer until you get to know them.
That's true.
Omega, you know what? Let's take this opportunity. Why don't you go ahead and talk about TII for us right now?
Okay, TII is a very easy channel, and it's also a community where a bunch of streamers get together, help themselves to stream, getting more viewers, more followers, as well as helping the channel itself. So if you want to help yourself and help us by the same way, you're more than welcome to join us. TII is also a part of the Indie Army stream team, which means the channel is in the Indie Army stream team, not the whole streamers on it, but it's a great entrance to join the group if you want to. So it's a good way, if you want to be part of the Indie Army stream team, it's a good way to join us, starting with TII.
So there you go. So,
For example,
so would you say that TII is kind of like the gateway?
Yep, it's a gateway. Just for example, during the last time we had more people in the Army stream team, we took like 6 person from TII, and then choose 3 more from others streamers and in Twitch.
Now, the first thing I'm going to let you know is that there's all sorts of communities like TII. I personally chose TII because I thought that they were a great up-and-coming streaming system, and let me tell you, it's becoming really cool in here. The follows are going up. Tons of people come and watch every day. And it's not just the other streamers. We actually get tons and tons of new people.
That's true. But there's also other group like Rise Up Gaming that's helped a lot.
That is
New
correct.
Streamers, and they of course have a good reason to be streaming because they want to change the mentality of the people.
And
Like gaming,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue. I want to hear about Rise Up.
Yeah, like I said, Rise Up is there to change the mentality of people while gaming, like no discrimination, no sexism, no racist, anything else.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and they want to make sure that you got the good environment when you're playing games or when you're watching some stuff on Twitch.
Oh, that's neat. And just as an example, I know that TII, like the India Initiative here, we constantly are talking with Rise Up. We have people that do both. So we're on constant communication with them. We help them out with some of their charity stuff. They help us out from time to time. So, even between networks, we're communicating with each other and learning from each other and teaching each other things. Anubis, thank you very much. I'll get to that here in a moment. So, yeah, that's the sort of thing that networking can do for you. There's tons of people that I've met, not even part of this network, but part of Rise Up or part of some of the other networks that have been absolutely terrific. Did you have something else, Omega?
No.
Okay. Sprocket, why don't you go ahead and tell us about some of the other networks you're part of and how they do things maybe a little differently than TII, or, how they communicate with TII.
I am part of the Indie Army stream team as well, and I can honestly say that TII was my stepping stone to be able to get in. It was a huge surprise when I was actually invited to be with them. The Indie Army are really, really close-knit family that you can't get in any other way than some people, and usually a good portion of them, absolutely like the way that you stream or you treat other people or how you present yourself or represent other people. And to me, that's a strong network in itself with that. Well, I also belong to RGN, which is Real Gaming Network, and they are, again, another group of people that enjoy just like-minded games, although I don't play some of the games that they play. I support them 100%, whether it's coming in their channel and spending time with them, whether it's telling other people about this great group of people that play a certain game that other people might like. Rise Up Gaming, I'm so glad I'm part of them. They run so many charities, and that is the type of family that you really want to be part of, especially when you're a charity streamer like me or love to help other people out. Their networking is vast. I mean, it never ends. They have so many networking opportunities, to developing companies, to big game supporting companies, to a lot of the charities, to companies that support charity organizations and stuff like that. Well, I also belong to another group. I will refrain from mentioning their name on here only because they asked me to, but they are a secret networking company that works behind the scenes with all the different charities that go on and all the individual streamers that like to run charities on their own company and their own channels. So their style is they help you by getting a hold of other companies and never giving your name to them, saying, hey, I have somebody that needs some help, would you be willing to help them? So I love doing stuff like that as well. So there's lots of different ways of your networking and the groups that you're in, and good ways of getting to know new people.
Perfect. So yeah, that's just some of the information on some of the groups that some of the members here are part of. We do have another person joining us here. Damien, do you have any groups that haven't already been mentioned that you are part of, or maybe you could tell us a little bit about why you joined the India Initiative?
The India Initiative wasn't the first for me, but it was the first one that really helped a lot. I would say the biggest help, yes, I do. I stream on the channel. I get a couple of follows or so from that. That really isn't the biggest help I've found. Biggest help is really with what we're talking about right now is networking. The Indie Initiative has introduced me to a lot of other streamers, big name streamers, other groups, other channels. Like she said, Rise Up, RGN, the Indie Army. Which Sprocky, you actually got an invite because I was put in there like randomly, and I'm just like, wait a minute, where did this chat come from? Yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of advice. That's another great thing. TII has a lot of, in our chat, we have a lot of people that know what they're doing, or they know, certain people know certain things, certain people have different skills, that they know stuff that you don't know, or they don't know, or, etc. So when you ask questions in there, generally, within, 10, 15 minutes at most, I get a good answer, and usually, a lot of times, it's actually a lot of different answers. People are throwing all kinds of different opinions and, different ways of seeing or doing things, and it's very helpful that way.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, that's absolutely a big part of the networking is just, getting relationships like this. Now, we're going to talk about some of the other portions of networking, and that's going to be, we're going to actually switch these around. We're going to talk about being everywhere. So, what I'm talking about by being everywhere, I'm actually talking about being in other people's chats, being in places and getting your name out there. Not necessarily that you're a streamer or anything like that, but getting your name out there, getting yourself known. The fact that you're a streamer will eventually come out naturally, and that's going to be a big thing for you. What's up, Collins? So, like, as an example, I'm just going to use a small example that I've used. I go and I watch a lot of streamers. A lot. I'm in Sprocket's channel whenever I see her streaming on her channel. Whether or not I talk is another thing. But I come into our channels for our streamers normally, not just the TII channel, but their streams as well. A lot of the times I'm not even logged in. I'm just watching them. Because it's good to give tips. And I'm a big fan of, giving them that extra view. I may not necessarily be logged in just because I'm working on other things on my actual account. So I'm using, Internet Explorer, and I don't log in. So things like that. So when we're talking about that sort of thing, you're going to go into another person's channel. You're going to talk normally. So, like, as an example, there's a streamer I know called Geezer HD. I saw his channel through another streamer called Bacon Donut. As you can see, that was networking right there. The fact that Geezer and Bacon are friends, they've gotten to know each other. He referred me to Geezer, and I had never seen him before, and I went and I checked him out. That's networking. That is part of it. Why am I bouncing? For those of you that aren't aware, I have I wouldn't even know how to put it. It's basically a disability that means that I have to constantly move. I can't sit still. So you'll see me moving around on the stream. I talk with my hands a lot because of the fact that I have to move. My legs are constantly bouncing up and down. Restless leg syndrome. And that causes me to bounce. And in this chair, it's even worse. You might notice, guys, that I am not using my usual chair. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that later. That is the biggest thing. Yeah, I watch Bacon Donut all the time. I'm a fan. But yeah, it introduced me to Geezer. I got to know Geezer, talked with him all the time. I hang out in his chat all the time. And then all of a sudden, I got on private calls and stuff, and I got to talk to Geezer, and I'm getting to know him. And he's quitting smoking, which is absolutely terrific. And so, I'm helping him out with that because I switched to a vaporizer quite some time ago, and that's what he's using to quit. So I've been helping him out with that, talking about it, things like that. So we've just kind of gotten to know each other. And so we've gotten to know each other to the point where he's going to be on the show next week. That's right. I have a streamer that I know that's been streaming for quite some time. He's coming on the show next week to help us out with our next week's stream. So there's a bunch of stuff going on there. I'm going to talk about the next week's stream probably at the end so you guys get to know a little bit more about that. And there's a ton of stuff like that that will get you views. It's going to get you information. People learn that you stream, they'll check you out, things like that. I know Geezer now. I'm getting to know him even better. Eventually, we might do something else together. Instead of just HelpDesk, we might do a Minecraft stream or something else together. And who knows what that could lead to. You get to know each other, and that's how you network. It's just getting to know people. That is a big portion of networking. Be everywhere all of the time so that you can have those opportunities. People say that it's luck. And you're right, it might be. But you got to create the luck. Here's the thing. How am I going to learn how am I going to get to be known if I'm not there? If I don't go into other streams and talk and get to know people, no one will know I exist. If no one knows I exist, if I'm an island, then I have to grow 100% naturally. Growing 100% naturally in this environment is currently impossible. Like, literally impossible. And the reason for that is because you have several million people watching a million streamers, literally a million streamers. So you have to stand out in some way. Now, you can grow naturally if you can stand out enough and enough people just happen to notice that. That is what I would like to refer to as luck. That's not hard work, that's luck. The hard work is actually getting to know the other people. It's the stuff that you're doing offline to improve your stuff and getting more people to know about you. And that's things like being involved in your community. Are you a Minecraft streamer? Are you a COD streamer? Are you any type of streamer? Go to that Reddit. Post information. Post screenshots of your stream on cool things. Make GIFs. Post them. Highlights. All sorts of things. Show off really cool things. And in your signature, put your stream. Don't talk about how you're a streamer and you did this. No, that'll come up naturally. Again. But do talk about, cool things that happened. Talk about the fact that, you went 75-2 in this COD match. Talk about the fact that you built this huge castle in Minecraft. And put that on the Reddit. People are going to see it. They're going to realize you're a streamer. Trust me, it happens. They start looking at your previous posts. You've been talking on our Twitch on how you're a streamer. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's go check this guy out. So they go, they check you out. There's another follower if you were a good streamer. And so that's how you want to be everywhere and active. You're going to create those opportunities through secret advertising. And by secret advertising, I mean just getting to know people, giving people cool things, and letting them come back to you and learn even more. As an example, YouTube videos. Even if YouTube videos are just your Twitch highlights, use it. The fact that somebody could happen to see that on YouTube, go, this is really cool, and then see that you're live on Twitch, or see that that's connected to Twitch, and they come to Twitch and they watch you, that's another viewer for you. Why you wouldn't use that, I don't know. I use it constantly. I have a YouTube channel with hundreds of videos. I actually did a Let's Play series for quite some time. You can check it out over on youtube.com/BlackDogZ with an extra Z. Don't ask, I couldn't get one Z. So you can go check that out. If you're on my channel, you can actually just type in !social and you can get it from there. So there's tons and tons of stuff here. What do we got here? I'm thinking about changing things up. It'll be a really good thing sometimes. Definitely, Spooner, we are going to get to that as part of constantly improve your stream. That is the next topic that we'll be talking about. I've got a friend who introduced me to another streamer, started talking about streaming with him, and he's giving me shout-outs. There you go. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Spooner. The fact that, you're getting that information, that you're getting shout-outs. That is exactly what we're talking about here. We have a ton of people in the channel now. We're up to 5, including myself. Let's go ahead and bring it to somebody we haven't brought live yet. Chronological Gamer, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Chronological Gamer. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to join the TII?
Only joined for like a little bit of time, for like at least like 15-20 minutes from now, but I came here to like talk about streaming purposes whatsoever, what I do to improve my channel, even though it's just a step up.
Okay, well, we will definitely be getting to talking about that portion of it, like improving your channel and things like that, in the next section. Right now we're talking about creating opportunities and things like that, so if you have something you'd like to state on that, let me know. If not, we're going to move to Damien. Damien, do you have anything, like opportunities you've created or anything like that?
I'm always constantly working on stuff like that. When I network, I do, like you say, I go into channels and I talk to the person, I get to know them, and if I feel like they're I'm particular with my streamers that I like to watch, but I'm just as much as a Twitch watcher as I am a streamer. I've been watching Twitch 3-4 years now, so I talk to them, and they can kind of tell by my name that I'm a streamer. But I like to get to know them quite a bit, and I find I actually just got invited to start streaming on a very large channel just the other day, and I've probably been I've known them for a couple months, and I've been talking in their channel for a very long time, and show them that I'm there supporting them, that I'm an active part of their community, that I'm not, a troll in their chat and stuff, and when they start to realize that, they're like, oh, he's a good guy, he's a nice guy, and then one day they just, one of them said, hey, can you fill in for me on the channel? They liked what I did when I filled in, and now they want me to be part of the channel.
Oh, there you go.
That's just, you can't expect things to happen, but if you're putting yourself out there as a positive, force of their community, there, when something happens, or when they say, I could use some help with this, they might actually consider you. So,
well, that's absolutely perfect to hear, Damien. Sprocket, do you have anything you'd like to add about creating opportunities and being everywhere?
Being everywhere all the time is not ever really going to be a 100% thing. I tell everybody, being everywhere all the time, 100%, not a thing. Being everywhere 70% of the time, you're going to have it. That means that you can spread yourself out a little bit. You can actually get into a conversation with some of the people that either you're watching or you're just kind of hanging out with. A good friend of mine, a good streamer friend of mine, actually just started here on TII this week. So happy that he started. I started talking to him probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and I really just went in there because he was playing a game that I really enjoyed watching, and it was somebody fresh and new that I could go in and watch and see how they played the game. Well, I just kind of got to talking to him. But you all know me. My mouth never shuts up and my fingers never stop going when I'm in a stream with somebody that I enjoy watching. And before I knew it, he ended up asking me if I streamed, and when I told him I did, every time I was in the channel, he would start telling everybody to come and watch me because I was also a streamer. I'm also featured on his page as one of the streamers to go and see. So little things that are like that is really good to do. You just kind of go in, you get to know them. Eventually they're going to figure out you're a streamer by just the way that you're talking about not being a streamer while you're playing games. And a lot of us are smart enough to catch on to that, and if we like you, we end up telling everybody to go over and see you. Good way to get around.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And like she said, you can't be everywhere at once. My recommendation is, if you're going to be in multiple streams at the same time, try to choose streams that are basically your size, slightly smaller, slightly larger, maybe people you know. Going to like the huge streams like Co-Carnage and things like that, that's not networking. You're not really going to get a chance to network there. Not that anybody could even read the chat half the time, but even when they can, nobody wants to see anything about your channel. They're there to watch Co. They're there to watch Bacon, they're there to watch Dan, and that's not what you should be doing. You should be going to the smaller streamers, getting to know them, dual streaming, because as an example, when I go live on my channel by myself, I usually have about 7 to 10 current viewers when I first start. I peak at around 20, and then I usually drop down to 10 again by the end of the stream. Now, that means that if I'm having anywhere from, say 10 to 20 people, and I decide that I'm going to play a game with Sprocket, who has 10 to 20 people, now, if we're playing on the same stream, we could have 20 to 40 people.
True.
So now we got 20 to 40 people, say 5 people of Sprockets come watch me, 5 people of me decide to come watch Sprockets. I've now gained 5 new people that are going to come watch me each and every day. Well, that's great. Now anywhere from 10 to 15 starting and 20 to 25 at my peak. That is absolutely amazing. And let me tell you guys, that's what it's all about, is creating those opportunities, being in those places, and making the luck. Because although you do have to get lucky, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to be a career streamer, you have to get lucky. but you have to create the luck. If you're not in the right place at the right time, there's no luck. So it's all about being in that place at the right time. So you've got to learn where to be, when to be there, and how long to be there for. And it's a major, major thing that you're going to learn very, very quickly. And let me tell you, people will absolutely love it. You just have to make sure that you're not being overt in your advertising. So like as an example, you're not going to go into someone else's stream and go, hey, I'm a streamer, come watch me at this channel, I go live on these days. No, that's not how we do it.
Yeah.
You see people all the time doing that. And let me tell you, that's not what we want to see.
Yes, would get banned.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's bad.
So make sure you're not doing things like that. You're getting to know the streamers and things like that, and it's going to come out naturally. Trust me. Every time. Yes, you might have to watch that streamer for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, but it's going to come out naturally, and you're going to make new friends, and that's part of what this is all about. It's not necessarily about creating a job. It's about making friends.
I have a saying this. This happens to me when I stream different games, like old and new, and also recent. It depends on whatever game I play, my play style.
Well, exactly.
That's how I get like around 5 to like 10-ish viewers. Take Splatoon for example. It has like it got me like at least around like 8 to like at least 15 viewers. And that is really good. Go right ahead.
Spooner, if you are part of the TII, you can join the TII TeamSpeak at any time. I am there all day, every day. I'm also in the Indie Initiative chat, and I'm also in my chat all of the time. So if you have a question, you can feel free to just pop in my chat. Even when I'm not live, send the message. I'll see it, and I'll get back to you. If you're part of TII, I can't remember. I think you are. Omega, can you let me know, is Spooner part of TII?
Oh, I don't know.
If not, you should join the TII, and we can definitely help you out.
Yes, you should.
I'm also live every Wednesday. I'm here for just about every single one of Sprocket's streams. Like I said, I'm in here all the time. And so, he applied. He's just waiting for the decision. So there's tons of stuff that can happen. And let me tell you, there is questions that I can answer anytime. I'm sitting in the stream. Send me a whisper. Even if you're not in the same channel, you can send a whisper, and I'll see it. It might take me a little while to actually reply, but I will see it and I will reply. The other thing is private messages. I accept private messages from anybody. Go ahead. You have a question about streaming, go ahead and private message me. What's my opinion on cameras? I know some people are uncomfortable with using them or just don't own one, but how do you think it affects viewership? Hockey Gnome, when it comes to cameras, I personally think that having a camera helps viewership. Honestly, it's what people expect to see. Does that mean you have to have a camera? No, it does not mean you have to have a camera. Maybe you want to do something like we have Sprocket setup doing now. Sprocket, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your camera setup?
Oh, yeah. I didn't like using a camera because I'm in it for charity reasons, so I'm not the center stage. I try to promote the charity. I try to promote what games I'm using. Some of the games I get are from the sponsors for the charities that I'm doing. Well, I was talked into getting a cam to use a cam. I don't like to be personally upstage, front stage. I have anxiety issues, and when somebody's watching me when I'm on a cam, I have a total meltdown. I can barely speak. So my husband and another friend of ours came up with the idea of getting FaceRig through Steam. So instead of using a cam that shows me, I now have FaceRig that gives me a little animated avatar that follows my movements. So she talks when I talk, she bobs her head around when when I'm talking or just bouncing to the music, and she shows all the full facial features from when I get scared, if I'm surprised, and stuff like that. So viewership has gone up a little bit since I added the face cam to it, because now they have at least something that they can see, not just the game that I'm playing and a voice behind it. They have something that they can actually watch the expressions of.
Can we get a link to that Facecam software, Sprocket, that you're using?
FaceRig.
Ah, yes.
I think it's just facerig.com.
It's on Steam.
It's on the Steam
it's
store
actually on
page.
Steam.
No, there you go.
Just look up face rig through
I had it
Steam.
wish listed.
Okay, so you guys know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that really quick. Sorry, dog, I'm just going to hijack this.
That's
for a minute.
fine.
There are two different versions of face rig that is up. There's a cheaper version and there's a more expensive version. The only difference between them is no technology whatsoever. They are exactly the same. The difference is the price. The reason there's a difference in the price is if you make more than $500 a month using their face rig on your stream or a combined stream for things like your subs, donations coming in, anything like that. If you make more than 500, you need to buy the more expensive one because now you have their license to use it for making money over that amount. Someone like me, I can bring in thousands of dollars a month, but it's all for charity, so I keep none of it. So I do not have to get the license that's for it. So all you need to do is get the little $15 one, and you guys are all set. When you start making more than $500 a month consistently, you're going to have the $50 to add to it and get the other one that you need.
Oh, there you go. And I do want to take the time to state that, when it comes to webcams and things like that, not having a webcam is technically something that, people frown on. Now, that's only what I like to refer to as phase one thinking. When somebody first joins your stream, the first 30 seconds of them looking at your stream, or even the snapshot they saw on the portal, that's what's going to tell them what they're seeing, right? And it's going to tell them whether or not they want to join. So if they're there for the first 30 seconds, they don't see a face cam, you're not talking very much, or even if you are talking very much, they might make that phase one decision in the first 30 seconds to go, hey, this guy doesn't have a webcam, I'm out of here. And that does happen. But if you can have something, either be really good at gameplay, great communication, things like that, you can kick people out of phase one thinking. When somebody first joins your stream, they're in phase one, but if you give them something to think about, so like, as an example, you're doing a conversation, even if there's no one in your stream, say you're talking, and you're talking about something completely random, about a story that you've created, guy comes into your stream, you don't have a face cam, but the only words he hears out of your mouth when he first joins are, and that's how I stopped World War III. And then you continue on just like you were like nothing. And he hears those words, and all of a sudden he's like, "Guy stopped a war? What? Okay, I have to stick around and figure out what this is about, right?" So now you've got him for a few minutes. You start talking, you keep talking, you tell them stories, you tell them various things, you have a conversation with them, and now they're in phase two thinking. They're trying to figure things out. Phase two thinking allows for more open-mindedness. It allows for them to like you even without a cam. So it's about capturing their attention without that cam. And that can be difficult to do because phase one thinking is very close-minded. This works in real life. I actually have a book on phases of thinking. And so phase one thinking, amazingly enough, actually takes biases into account even if you don't have them. As an example, one bias that people have is that people that are, let's use myself as an example. Some of you may have noticed that I am missing a tooth, a single tooth. That was an accident with airsoft. I am in the process of getting it fixed, but it is causing me to slur my S's a little bit. You might notice that I got a little bit of a lisp. And it's something that's taken me a little bit to get used to while I'm waiting on them to create the new tooth, because they're actually putting in a new veneer tooth. It's not cheap, let me tell you. Now, people see that missing tooth, and they're immediately, if they come into the stream or they see it on the thing, they immediately go, "This guy's stupid, he's a hick." Exactly! And so that is something that I have to get past in phase one thinking. Even if you know the people missing a tooth, and a lot of people know this, people missing a tooth aren't necessarily stupid. They're not necessarily hicks. They're not necessarily, the banjo playing, backyard loving sheep friends that you all love and know. That doesn't mean that phase one thinking is going to stop that. Phase one thinking goes, I'm going to assume this even though I shouldn't. And you have to get somebody out of phase one thinking by having the cam or, being conversationalist with them, and get them into phase two where they can decide whether or not they actually like you as a streamer. If you can get somebody to phase two, that's where you're going to get the follow. You rarely, if ever, get a follow in phase one unless it's a follow train. Follow trains are hilarious. Did you know that only 20% of followers that happen during a follow train actually stick around? More on that later. All right, guys.
Sorry, I actually had something a little more on that subject?
I was just about to ask, does anyone have any more on that subject? So, Damien, take it away.
I'm a businessman. I run my own business. I went to school for business. I have a BA. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot about I've learned a lot about advertising. I also took it a step further and took sociology, so that way I actually know exactly what you're talking about with people's processes. And like he was saying, people sometimes might be biased and stuff. Actually, technically, according to sociologists, everybody's biased in the first 3 seconds of thought. Because your conscious doesn't work for the first couple of seconds. Your subconscious instantly takes over at everything you do for the first couple of seconds, because you have the things like fight or flight, or you have other responses that your body naturally, instantly wants to react to before your higher brain takes over. So believe it or not, people will get an instantaneous opinion of you. It happens all the time. It happens every day. When you walk down the street, the second they see someone, instantaneous opinion. When they see a police officer, instantaneous opinion. It's just part of our brain chemistry. Something happens on Twitch, which took me actually a couple months to realize, and I use my webcam a lot more now because of this. I also have upped my overlay quality because of this, and in retail they call it the window shopping effect. And basically, what happens is when people go to a channel, let's say they're looking for somebody playing Five Nights at Freddy, all right, and they're looking at all the Five Nights at Freddy channels. All right, so what they're looking for is a professional streamer. They're not looking for somebody that's playing it just for the heck of it and said, let me stream. Because they most people want to go find somebody like that plays it all the time, because they want to go and watch that guy over and over and over again. So they're not going to click on every stream. It's how much time would that take? What they do is window shop. They scroll down and they look at the previews of all the streams, and they look for things that instantly appeal to them. Nice overlays, webcams, cool little, some people like, cool little anime dancing things in the corner, and some people like to see that. And all these things let them know in their brain, give them the feeling, oh, this guy's a pro. Even though that doesn't naturally mean it's true, because, you can have the best overlay in the world and still be the worst streamer. But it gives them that feeling. And then they will click on your channel, because they'll be like, oh, well, he's got a webcam, and that's a nice overlay. He must be pro. He must be a pro. And they're going to click on your channel, and then you have that chance for those other thoughts, like he was mentioning, that they'll catch what you're saying. They'll get drawn into conversations. They'll wonder what's going on. That you have those chances to get them and pull them in and really grab their attention and get them to know you then as, as what you want. You don't want them to go by the first opinion, because God knows what that was. But you got to get them in there first. And it took me a couple months for a while to realize that. I'm like, well, there's big name streamers that don't use webcam. Why do I need to use mine? And you know what? They're already big, so maybe maybe it was different for them or whatever. But it's the difference has been huge since I literally, I was trying to keep it very minimalistic, keep it very about the game. Now I've shortened the game a little bit, so that way you can still see the whole game. I really don't block much of it. My camera's off to the side, all my information and my overlay are off to the side, so I still kind of feel true to what I like to do, keep the picture of the game clear. But I now have a professional looking overlay. I have my webcam up. I have information scrolling around and stuff. And I see the views coming in and the people. I can see it because I watch my bot and I can see when people come in and stuff. And I know that it has increased. It does bring people in more. Actually, the other day I streamed against a very large name streamer, Giant Waffle. I don't know if you know who that is.
Absolutely do.
Well, the other day he was playing Prison Architect, and he was the only streamer playing it. And I said, that cannot go well. Because people want to, that's the kind of game people want to ask questions. They want to know about it. They want to, like, what's this? It's an alpha game. They want to, not everybody knows about it. So I'm gonna stream. I got 30 follows that day, and according to my bot, nearly 100 unique views.
Ah, yes. That's what I like to refer to as coattailing.
Yes, because basically they opened it up. They saw there was 2 people. They said, okay, well, these are both pro, but he's got so many people. Let me go see what he's doing. They went to go say hi in his channel, didn't get nothing. His chat blew by. He got ignored, and he's like, well, you know what? Screw this. I'll go check out that other guy. He looked serious. Came into my channel, and they started asking questions, and hang out. And then a lot of them I was able to grab by my own, my own personality, my own way of doing things.
And exactly, that is definitely something that can happen. I recommend, if you are looking at streaming like the smaller games like that game, which is a great game, by the way. I love Prison Architect. That you make sure that that there are other people. If Damien was the only person in that channel, guarantee you he would have gotten no new extra people, maybe 1 or 2, and he would have gotten probably maybe a follow. But because there was somebody else big time who probably doesn't know all that much about the game in there, he was able to stream it, and he was able to gain follows, gain people to come watch his stream, because he knew what he was doing, and he was able to answer the questions and actually take the time out of his chat in order to answer it. Whereas a large streamer, honestly, they might get to a quarter of their chat, maybe a quarter if they're good.
And I just listed the game, by the way.
Well, exactly. And you take a look at Carnage. Carnage can actually keep up with his chat. One of the few streamers I know that can keep up with his chat. I don't know how he does it. He's got to have amazing systems in the back end. But
and you know what? It's weird because I've watched him since he had like 12 viewers. I've watched him a long time. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how he still keeps up so well. I mean, he doesn't get everything, but he keeps up very, very well. A lot, like the people that have the same amount of viewers, thousands, he does 100% better than all of them almost that I've seen. And I don't know how, because literally he became big because of H1Z1. He literally went from 100 viewers to 3,000 viewers overnight. And yet he still handled that transition like it was nothing.
Well, exactly.
Nothing.
That guy is really good at doing that sort of thing. But if you go into a Giant Waffle, Bacon Donut, any of the other really large streamers, and you start watching them tally, you'll realize that they can't keep up with their chat. Maybe 25% is some of the best. I think Towley can do 25. Bacon, more 20. Waffle, probably 15, maybe 10.
So it's too many people.
Well, exactly. When you got 6, 8, 10,000 people watching your stream, it's a lot to people to keep up with it. I'm not telling you guys that that's bad, but just don't expect to get your questions answered. If you do, feel lucky.
Actually, Carnage is a great person to watch if you want to pick up tips.
Oh, absolutely.
He does. I mean, that's probably why he blew up so quick, because he just he got a little bit of a push for enough people to come, and then they all realized he's just awesome, and you can get a lot of tips from him, especially like his excitement that he has, and you really can get a lot of great ideas from just watching him stream.
Now, the one thing I do want to take the time to state is, we have been talking about some big streamers, but those aren't the people that you should be watching. Yes, spend an hour or two in the big streamers, learn how they do it, things like that. That's an important part. But you should be going all the way down to the bottom. Like Spooner says, go to the bottom, watch the small streamers, help them out. Because you know what? If you were down there, that's what you'd want. You'd want somebody to scroll to the bottom, check you out. And you know what? To be honest with you, I've done this. You're going to find some really bad streams sometimes. Don't lose hope. Keep trying, and you will find the stream that works for you. And it may have 1, 2, 3 viewers in it, but let me tell you, some of those streams have been my favorite streams to watch. And I've favored them, add them to my friends, and constantly watch. Even if I'm just listening or, not typing in chat, I'm there watching and helping them grow, because that's an important part. That's something I would want people to do for me. So why wouldn't I do that for other people? And that's what TII is all about. Having people in our channel to make it so that there's a community here already that can just be added onto. And so what you're seeing here is like I'd say 10, 11 of us in the channel right now talking. We have the swords and things like that. We're actually, the TII guys, members, helping each other out. But we're also learning. We're all here to learn. We're all here to help each other out. But then we have, currently, from what I can see, 21 people watching. 21 people. I'm assuming that there's probably a host in there somewhere for a few people. We've got a couple people watching. I've seen people typing, hockey, Spooner. What else do we got? There were people further up. So there's a ton of people. Buckley, there's one right there. This guy is sexy. Buckley, you're sexy too. Thank you very much. So...
Oh my.
Let me tell you, that's exactly what it's all about, is having a community, getting the community together, and being part of that community. All right, guys, unless somebody else has something else on being everywhere, creating opportunities, we're going to move on. Sprocket, I heard you talk. You're first.
I'm just going to add on a little bit to what Damien's talking about, because he gets to talk from the guy's point of view for this. There are immensely less women that stream that make it big than men, although there are a lot of huge women streamers that have just made it as big as can be. We are scrutinized the most if we don't have the long pretty flowing hair or the really curly hair that guys like to see, if we don't have the almond shaped eyes, if you're not a redhead, if you don't have the bust up top that you want to show, we get scrutinized the most.
And if you have all of that, then you get a whole nother problems.
Exactly. And if you do have all that, then you're just up the creek without a paddle, because now you're just going to get all the trolls in there that are saying that you're only doing it for the attention because you look like this. Honestly, yes, we are doing this for the attention, guys, whether it's for charity like me, or whether it's getting a game out there, or whether it's to make a living. But to the women that stream, that have that hard time of having people judge them, this is where face rate came in with me. I am a redhead. Most people don't know that. I'm not going to show that. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see that I'm a redhead. Okay? That's the only place I have a picture of me, by the way.
Hashtag vlog.
But this is where face rate comes in. Or find somebody like beautiful Ray here who does, some of our great artwork, and have this cute little dancing anime person in the corner, or this cute little picture that totally shows your personality and not, what you look like. People are going to look at those and they're going to say, oh, look, they're just having fun. They have something cute that's in there, and they're a girl. The worst thing, honestly, that women can do is to put in their profile, I'm a girl gamer. Please don't do that.
Oh,
I'm
wow,
a gamer,
man.
I'm a mom, I'm a woman of business. Anything that doesn't connect girl and gamer together, but woman and gamer in the same sentence, if that makes any sense. The other thing is games. If you're playing an alpha game that a huge streamer is playing, take a little bit of time, get to know that game, and add the hashtag into your title and get those developers into your stream, because now they have another stream to look at and they might promote you themselves if they like what you're doing, because not a lot of big gamers developers don't really like, because they don't follow their chat and answer questions.
I have a question, Sprocky. You mean early access, right?
Yeah, the early access. A lot of us get alpha invites to play games that we're allowed to stream. And we just tag the developer in our title before we go live, and that brings them in, and they take their own videos and they place them out in the general public and say, come watch the streamer, because this is what our game is all about.
Oh, nice.
Exactly.
There's all kinds of little ways. That's one of the hidden and the secret advertising in there, is getting the right hashtags to the right person and having them come in and watch you.
Interesting.
All right, so that is creating opportunities. Anyone else? Omega, I know you piped up right after Sprocket. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
I created myself an opportunities with Andy at the time. A few months ago, I met with Andy on his channel, and I was nobody. He didn't know me at all. But then started talking, watching him, having fun with him. And one day he invited me on TeamSpeak, and I talked to him, and we had fun. And then he learned that I was part of a group, and he wanted to, how did you say that? Some kind of cross promotion with us. It didn't work that well, but at least that was my contact with Indy at the moment. And then later on, I started streaming, and I was part of the Indy Army stream team as soon as I started streaming because I knew Indy. And now I'm freaking administrating a channel owned by Indy. I'm also part of the Indy Army stream team. Rise Up Gaming, all that because I connected with the right person.
Oh,
if you look 1 year ago, I was nobody at all. Now.
And now you run this place, which is great. And guys, that's anybody else on creating opportunities? Damien, Chrono, you have anything before we move on?
And I want to add something more.
Okay.
Not entirely sure.
I just want to add one thing more. At the end of this month, something big is going to happen. I want to promote it, but I want to promote it correctly. But I will say this: our charity event will come at the end of August, and it will be so huge, and you don't want to miss it. TII will be part of it. Rise Up will be part of it. Handy will be part of it. And of course, the Indy Army swim team, and of course, RGN will be part of it. So, and that's an opportunity that you cannot miss if you want to help us. This is an opportunity for everybody that want to help us. Be there, talk with us. That could be a great chance to get promoted.
Exactly. Just as an example, guys, we're talking about networking here, and I'm going to tell you an example of exactly how beneficial networking can be. I've been a TII member for just over a month now, and in that month, I have gained, just from the TII alone, I've been keeping track of my followers that I gain while I'm streaming and things like that. While streaming, I've probably gained on the TII over 90 followers in that month. That's quite a few people. The other thing that you need to look at is the fact that I haven't been streaming on my own channel in that month. So the followers that I am gaining aren't actually gaining anything right now. Although, starting next week, we are going to start streaming on my channel again, everybody. We are going to be leaving the help desk over here. It was something that was on my channel. It is going to stay on the TII, but my Minecraft and things like that, I'll be doing that on my channel again very, very soon, starting next week. And I hope that you all will come and join me. But yeah, so that's 90 follows. We get tons of people coming in, additional views all of the time, and like just today we've gained, you know, just in the last like hour we've gained a few more people following. And I want to thank you all because, you know, I don't have the systems turned on for the followers and things like that during the show because interruptions. So that is currently turned off, but we do thank you, of course, for the follows and things like that. And let me tell you, it is a big thing being able to gain these followers, not just for me, but for everyone here. I can assume that everyone's currently talking this channel has probably seen that same success. And you're going to find that, you know, you will have that success here on TII. You just have to stream, be active, and be willing to improve your stream. Speaking of improving streams, guys, it's time to move on to the next topic. Constantly improving your stream. So, the thing that you need to do is you need to constantly add new stuff to your stream, whether that's new overlays, new music, new content, and things like that, which, at the end of this section, we're going to be announcing something new for the help desk. All right, guys. Chronological, I know you've been waiting for this section for quite some time, so why don't you go ahead and get us started on this?
It takes me a lot of time to get all the overlays and stuff done by, like, I don't know. It just takes how much time I want to make sure they're perfect for streaming purposes, and I'm trying to like get this done one at a time rather than just doing all at once.
All right. Do you have any examples of some of the things that you've been improving?
And let's see, I've been improving with like new shadows, new text layer, text box styles, and also different kind of backgrounds, textures, or other stuff on other stuff like, I don't know, make cool stuff. Yeah. I'm not even sure what to say, but it's just a bunch of stuff I added into Photoshop and making sure I make the overlay look cooler, nicer, and cleaner, so I don't have to like use up any space.
All right.
I actually have a question for Chrono on that that actually.
Absolutely.
A question?
You said you started messing with shadows and stuff. I actually just started messing with my one overlay that I like to use. It kind of looks like a wooden box. I did it like 3D, like it's coming up. And when I first made it, I didn't put any shadows, but I've started putting some shadowing just like around the edge of the video and stuff. And I really like. Do you really think like that's something people like will notice and stuff? Like, is that something I should try to, when I'm making overlays, try to think of more often too?
Yeah. I think I'm not even sure, but you could probably try experimenting with shadows and see how it fits the sides of the overlay and see how it works. Or maybe the top or bottom side, whichever floats your boat.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've been thinking about a lot lately because, like he said, you gotta constantly add stuff, and I've added so much to my bot. It's gotten to the point where my bot is getting a little heavy, let's say it. So I don't want to add too much more to my bot because he's already starting to use a lot of resources. So now I'm trying to figure out more things for my overlay, more things from channel activities, just other things than just the bot.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same for my own channel bot as well. I mean, I'm trying to I'm trying to customize and make sure that it changes.
When you get a lot of commands in that bot, it starts getting heavy.
Changes a lot of new commands to add new commands.
I was up to, I think I was up to 50 commands, and I had to start cutting them back because it was running slow.
I go at least around 15 or 20 commands. It's good enough for me. I don't want to go too much.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to put.
Good.
I mean, I would have to put in the the shoot command for Chronobot that I made throughout Anchor.
Yeah, that's important. Social commands or other commands that give them information.
Yeah, they're all basic.
People like information, and you can cut out a lot of time of just sitting there giving a spiel 15 times a stream by just quickly typing in a command, and there's everything they need to know.
Yeah, I have to limit each of how many times it can be used for like one stream session.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So yeah, constantly improving your stream, and the one thing I will state here really quickly is that when it comes to improving your stream, if you're not improving your stream, if you're just leaving it the same, and you're just letting it be, then you're not progressing. You can actually tell a stream that is going someplace by watching them a few times and seeing what improvements keep putting into place. You watch any of the big streamers, Bacon Donut, Co-Carnage, you watch Waffle, you even watch some of the medium-sized streamers, Geezer HD, Indie. Yeah, Indie's a great example. Constant
stuff daily.
Exactly. Constant improvement. So if you watch over a couple of days and you don't see a change, there's something wrong. You got to figure out what's changing. Maybe it's something you didn't notice. Maybe the person isn't changing. And if they're not changing, they're falling behind. If they're falling behind, they're becoming stale. If they're becoming stale, eventually you're just not going to watch anymore. And this is something that has been proven in Twitch time and time again. Streamers that don't keep up fall behind and fall out of the limelight. And so it's a big thing that you make sure that you're constantly improving your stream. And this is where the second portion of this comes in, with constantly improving your stream. Watching your stream. That will help you improve. Some people say, I can't stand my voice. I don't care if you can stand your voice or not. You need to watch yourself, because in order to learn...
Use yourself.
I'm going to plan on... Yeah, I have a say on this one. I'm actually thinking about planning to use overlays and new images yearly rather than just doing it monthly. It's crazy for me.
No, and that's understandable, but it's not necessarily about changing big things. Even changing little things can do it. Like, as an example, I've been using the same playlist for HelpDesk, this music that plays in the background. You guys can't hear it on TeamSpeak, but it plays in the show. I've been using that same playlist for the last 3 weeks. Maybe I should change that up. Maybe I should change the order of the songs so you guys are getting something slightly different, right? And that's something that is definitely going to be looked at, but we do have some new features coming up on HelpDesk that we'll let you guys know about here in a minute. But that is how you're going to improve. You're going to sit down, watch your own stuff, and figure it out. Yeah, you don't have to listen to yourself the entire time, but honestly, it's a good idea to figure out how long your blank spaces are. I've seen streamers that they're like, I talk all the time. I go and I watch an entire VOD of theirs. I just force myself to watch it, and there are half-hour periods that they're not talking.
Nobody can talk all the time. There's always going to be times where you're distracted by something intense going on.
Yeah, most of it can be lurking at the time anyways.
Well, exactly, but you need to make sure that, you're constantly improving those sorts of things, looking at various things, and that's how you do it, by watching your own stream. And you might not necessarily like your... Honestly, I hate my own voice, but I watch my streams. I watch HelpDesk, I watch Minecraft, and I figure out what I did wrong, what I can improve, what I can change, and it also tells me what I can do next time. So, like, if you're playing a game and you're going to play it next week, it's going to reinforce what you did that day so that you remember, because sometimes you might wait an entire week to come back to a game, you're not going to remember. So if you wait 3 days, watch the stream, it's going to refresh what you did too, on top of teach you new things that you can change. Maybe your overlay was wrong. Maybe you were streaming and your picture was over top of the text that was happening for a particular thing, and you didn't, speak the text or things like that. And so people couldn't read what was happening. And that is something that you wouldn't realize unless you sat down and watched your stream. And even on mute, you would have realized, I'm covering it.
Yeah, like the text that they had issues with my stream. I mean, I had to go and make it as readable as possible. It's not that easy to change up stuff.
Exactly, but those small changes can mean a lot, and that's where you're going to learn, is just watching your own stream. And honestly, asking other people to check out your stream and getting a critique. You can actually get critiques from our Twitch on Reddit, and they'll actually come and critique your stream and tell you, the issues. But I will let you know right now that they are completely honest opinions. I will also let you know right now that you need to listen to them, because if you're not going to listen to the opinions, there's no point in asking, right? So that's... Does anybody else want to bring up anything on constantly improving your stream, watching your stream, things like that? Sprocket, come on. I know you always have something.
Well, I have something.
All right.
If you know how to edit video, make yourself an intro. Make yourself some cut scenes between when you change in scene.
Like gameplay clips.
If you go from the game layout to your full webcam, put some kind of cutscenes video. So that way it looks more professional.
Exactly, and like even commercials while you're on break.
Yep. True.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm almost finishing my intro, and I had to capture lots of indie games on my Steam. Yeah, I had to use Dxtory to do that, and then convert it into like an MP4 file to save space.
Even if it's basic, what you know about video editing, you can do a really nice intro anyway. My
intro's almost done anyway. I mean, I had to get some more clips to add, and making sure I add some text onto After Effects, because I already have like one repeating Speedlines clip that was like in a what was it called? I think it's like a solid effect. That's what it is.
And even if your videos aren't the greatest, use them. I have a break video that actually I'm going to be playing right after this, because I'm going to go on a quick break, that's going to show you guys how bad I am at some video editing. Am I the worst? No. Am I bad? Yes. And you're going to see that in that video. But honestly, it's better than nothing, and that's how you learn, is by using the video editing software.
Yeah, like Adobe Premiere, CX6, because I'm the one who's stuck using it. I had to like change up BRB screens and the intro screens, because I know But from what I had currently, kind of needs some improvement in my stat, and I was like, wow, this is the best I could do. I need to like change it.
I'm one of the lucky ones since I do charities. I get all of my videos, so my intros and my outros are pretty much all done for me, and I just get to throw them onto my stream.
Oh, that's nice.
But
That's gotta be nice.
oh, it is actually very nice because I get a lot of exclusive videos doing charity stuff where even the big charity stream
Yeah, and they're
teams
probably
don't
done up
get
really
some of the
nice.
videos
They're
I
probably
have.
like professional, right?
Oh yeah, they're the one that I'm doing this month is I've got about 7 or 8 different ones. But little things in your stream to improve. I change font just about every week, and the reason I do that is because I'll play a certain game, and that font that I have on my actual overlay just clashes horribly, and it just keeps drawing your attention to the font instead of the actual game that you're playing.
Oh,
so I'm
I have to
constantly
use the
changing
font.
out stuff like that too. I kind of hacked into Damien's overlay that he made for me, and I still
saw that.
have the name that you made for me. I absolutely love, and I've kind of cut that part out and moved it to another area. And on one of my overlays, I have a whole different type of font that I have set for it, depending
saw
on
that.
the game. Yeah, depending on the game
I
that I'm
sneak
playing.
in and see. I sneak in.
You know, so it's
I
even
haven't-
just little things like that, turning font sideways and slamming it up against the side of your screen so it's out of the way of your game actually works a lot too. And I do that, and you can get a lot of in around the edges of your stream page without really bothering what's on your screen at the same time.
I have a question about the font style. Depending on whatever game I play, is it possible for me to change up the fonts? Like I don't know, like once in a while, if I wanted to play a game that's like I don't know. I don't want to do this like more than weekly. I mean, is there any way to do that?
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about using font styles to match up with the game's fonts.
Well, you would. There are a lot of game fonts out there that you can get. You'd have to probably download them and install them before you'd be able to use them, unless they're already using default fonts. Some of them do. You just have to figure out what they are.
Yeah,
Google,
like
Google will tell you.
Well, not only that, if they have a specific font that you can't find anywhere, you can actually get a hold of the developing team of that game and say, I'm a streamer, I really want to match my overlay font for, to help promote the game that I'm playing, which is whichever game it is. Sometimes they'll give you the rights to use their font and send it over to you.
It might
to
even
use
give you
it,
the image packs.
but just to make sure, if you do that, you only use it with any one of their games. Don't use it with somebody else's game, because then they're just going to get really mad at you and it won't work. I've done that on some of my games. I did that with Squeaky, as a matter of fact.
I would just ask beforehand if I had to play. Take Sonic 6 for example. I had to go and contact Sega people to get their fonts to use that for that particular game. I mean, it's the worst Sonic game I played. Take a good look.
All right,
It was
so
new. Yeah, as I was saying, New Radon was the font that was used in Sonic 06. Yeah. Go ahead, Black Dog.
all right, so we're gonna go on break here, guys. We're gonna take a few minutes, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talking about some Q&A. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. I do apologize, but we just need to take a break so that I can use the bathroom. All right, we'll be right back.
Be right back after these messages.
And come on, there it goes. Hey guys, and welcome to the HelpDesk infomercial. We're here to talk to you about noise gates. We're going to tell you everything you need to know in order to set up your noise gate on OBS today so that you can go ahead and set it up and not have background noise bleeding through on your cast. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, as you see here, we have a beautiful program called OBS. Up here in the corner, right here, where my fingers are, I'm kind of blocking with my face, is the settings button. We're going to go ahead, we're going to click on settings, and then we're going to go into settings. Once we're in there, we're going to click on the microphone noise gate tab. Okay, so once we're on microphone noise gate, this is where you set up your noise gate. Now, you should have preview mode on when you're doing this. So let's go ahead and just turn off the settings here. Down there in the series of buttons, you'll see one that says preview stream. Make sure that's turned on while you're doing this, because setting up the noise gate, you need your microphone active so that you can go ahead and set it up. So once you're done that, you've hit the preview stream, you've come in here, you go to the noise gate section. In between the close and open threshold bars that you can set here will be a little green bar bouncing around. If you talk, it's going to go up. If you're quiet, it's going to go down. It's real simple. On the right-hand side, you have your general. You have your enable noise gate. That's basically turning it on and off. First thing you need to do, turn it on. Attack time, milliseconds. This is how long it takes for this to go from closed to open. So it's kind of like a fade in period. You want that really, really small unless you want it to fade in. I don't recommend it. I have mine actually set to 10. The generic, I believe, is 25. Hold time. This is the amount of time the microphone will stay open after you're done talking. The reason for that is because when we're talking, we usually get softer at the end of our sentences. We want to make sure that it's going to go ahead and keep that open. I have mine set to 400. The default is 200. Release time. So this is when you first open the threshold, even if you're quiet, how long till it releases. This doesn't have to be really long unless you're talking quietly. You might want to have that set to longer if you find that it's cutting you off a lot. This is set to 150. I've left mine at 150. Next up, we have the close and open threshold. These sections are the most important part. The close threshold section is at what level should it turn the mic off or stop listening to the microphone. The open threshold is at what noise level it should actually start using the microphone again. So those are your 2 points that you need to adjust. The first thing you want to do is just sit with your microphone on and quietly breathe. If the green bar is going over your closed threshold, you need to turn your closed threshold up until it's above the green bar while you're just sitting there breathing. Don't breathe heavily, don't do anything weird, just normal breathing like this. Real simple. You guys should have heard nothing there. Now, once you have that set up, you can go to the open threshold. The open threshold's a little bit harder to figure out. It's the point that you want it to activate when you start talking. My recommendation is to take your normal voice, cut it down. So now you're talking like this. You want to make sure that when you're talking quietly like this, that your threshold is still being met. If it's not being met, you're going to have an issue. So that's one thing that you need to know when it comes to the open threshold. You need to be able to catch a lower level voice, an excited level voice, and everything in between. So you want to make sure that you have it set to a nice setting. You also may want to test it by using the record system in OBS to make sure that it's hitting those pauses properly and not cutting you off at any point while you're talking. Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the preview, and I hope it provided you the valuable information you were looking for. Have a good evening.
What's up, people? Indies here, and I want to talk to you about something amazing called the Indie Initiative. The Indie Initiative is a variety channel on Twitch that is live almost 24/7. Just go to twitch.tv/The Indie Initiative and check it out. We made this channel as a way to help streamers come together, form communities, gain followers, and build up their own channel. We have all kinds of stream on that channel. We have indie gamers, we've got AAA gamers, we've got people that make art, and they all bring something different for you to get that perfect Twitch experience. With new streamers joining every month, you will always discover somebody that you didn't know about. We have some great things coming up in the near future that you don't want to miss. I really want you to come to the channel at twitch.tv/The Indie Initiative and check it out. You might even want to apply and join these amazing streamers yourself. So come on and check it out. This is Indy, and I will talk to you later. Peace.
We're back. Yay! So let's go ahead and just start the music again. And unmute the Team Speaks. Yes, that's right. The Team Speak is back. All right, guys.
Hi, guys.
We are back from break. Thank you very much, guys, for being so patient with me. So now we're going to open it up to the Q&A.
I actually wanted to touch on something that Daddy touched on chat, and I really wanted to drive it home.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
He was talking basically. I'm gonna just to summarize it. He basically said that don't use a camera if it makes you uncomfortable, and you shouldn't do anything in your channel if it makes you uncomfortable. If it makes you uncomfortable, if it makes you mad, makes you bored, if it makes you just any kind of way where it upsets you, don't do it. Just don't broadcast it because it's poison. It will poison your stream. Don't do stuff that if you know you can't do it or you feel it. You're streaming and you're trying to do something new and you're just like, oh, this is just too much. I can't handle it. They're gonna sense it. They're gonna see it, and it's going to really ruin things. If you can't use a camera because you know you're that kind of nervous person, look up these other options: face rig, some kind of GIF, something. Just don't do stuff that's gonna, no matter how much, pressure you might get from your viewers and stuff, don't do stuff if you know it's gonna be something that's gonna bother you the entire time you're doing it.
I completely agree.
Guys, I have a high anxiety rate, and actually talking about my anxiety actually kind of makes me shake. That's the reason I don't use a regular cam. The fear in my face alone will destroy my stream. So, Damien brought up earlier when we were talking, I have this cute little archer gnome that I use because that shows my personality of one of my favorite games, which is World of Warcraft. And what I do in real life is I absolutely love archery, everything that has to do with it. So I pulled something up that gave both my gaming side and my personal side, and a lot of people actually know me from this little archer gnome. Then I get into Face Rig, which gives me an animated face to put out there for people, so they're still not seeing me, although they see the reflections of my emotions through her. So my anxiety is being center of attention where people can actually see me. So if you have that issue, find another way to do it. Just like Damien said, a little animated GIF, just a still photo that's there of something that represents you, or using something like Face Rig is your best way to go if you decide that you want to use a cam.
It's funny because I'm one of the very few people that actually seen you live from way back when you were living with all of them. Yeah, and I still sometimes picture you as a little archery gnome.
I do want to take the time to state, guys, that of course there are two different types of issues that come to using a face cam. One, it honestly could just be your security issues. I know when I first started using a webcam, I was like, why would I use a webcam? I had, self-image issues, things like that, and it took me a while before I decided that I wanted to be on a webcam. And the biggest thing is, if you're unsure about wanting to use a webcam, this is an amazing idea. Record yourself. OBS has a wonderful record system. You can record yourself streaming just like you were doing an actual live stream, and then you can go back and watch it and see what you look like. You can also get used to talking on cam that way, because the biggest thing, like when I first started streaming, I didn't want to use a cam either. I decided that I wanted to use a cam because I figured if I wanted to be successful at streaming, that was the best way to do it. Now, I couldn't see myself not using a cam. You see me here, I'm on the stream. Yeah, I'm bouncing. I have, a scraggly beard that's slowly coming out more and more, which is great because I've been wanting to grow it, and various things like that. And you know what? It's something that originally I would have been scared to show people, but just being here, you get used to it. You start to be able to tell people about it, and you eventually get to the point where you're fine with using the cam, but that's not for everybody. Some people do have anxiety issues and things like that they just can't overcome, and that's how you can test out that sort of thing. Record yourself, work your way up to using a webcam. Imagine doing a vlog where you record it to YouTube. You're recording it, so there's less stress there. Yeah, you're still uploading it to YouTube, so trust me, there's still some stress, but there is less stress than going live on Twitch with a webcam. Absolutely live, you can edit yourself, which is an amazing thing. But once you get used to doing that, which is how I got used to using a webcam, you can then put it on Twitch and you get used to using it. And eventually you get to the point where, your self-body issues, your self-doubt eventually gets to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, I'm missing a tooth. Yeah, eventually it'll be fixed. When I get it fixed, I'm probably going to talk worse than I talk now. Am I going to stop streaming because of it? Absolutely not. I'm going to keep streaming through all of it. I'm probably going to stream the day I get the tooth installed, which is going to be hilarious. But, you guys are going to see me. I'm going to have a swollen mouth and I'm going to be talking, and it's going to be absolutely hilarious on cam. But I'll be streaming, and that's the entire point of that sort of thing. But yeah, so if you do have, if it's the self-body issues or the self-doubt issues, that's something that you can do to get used to it. If it's anxiety, something more like what Sprocket has or things like that, you might not be able to get over it. And if you can't, that's perfectly fine. You're not comfortable streaming with a webcam, find a different method, whether or not that's, providing people with silly antics of conversations in your streams, telling stories, doing the face rig system, putting up a nice little image, whether that be an image of yourself or an image of, say, the gnome that Sprocket uses, things like that. Is it an elf or a gnome, Sprocket?
It is a little green-haired gnome.
Gnome, there you go. So, and that sort of thing. So there's many different ways you can do it, and that'll provide something so that when somebody sees that little shot at the beginning of your stream, that they go, there's something there, I'm going to check this out. Provide something different so that you can get people to come watch you, and that's an amazing thing. Daddy Funsastic here, let me just take a look here. It says it's all about talking, recommend.
You are absolutely 100% correct, and I try to drive that home to every streamer I ever talk about. And if you ever watch my streams, if I don't have any active chatters, though I have viewers, even if I don't have viewers in my own channel or TII when I'm here, I fall into the talking about the game that I'm playing, why I started playing the game, or what I like about it, what I don't like about it, the controls if they're different, because I'm a keyboard warrior. I hate using controllers. I don't like using outside controllers for games. Some of my stuff that I highlight from my own channel that I put on YouTube become tutorials because sometimes I just don't have any active viewers or active chatters that are viewing. So I do a whole tutorial thing that I just shoot over to YouTube. People can look at it later. Those are things you have to do, and yes, you need to be completely comfortable with talking to yourself. You have to be comfortable talking to yourself. If you're not comfortable talking to yourself, you're not going to be comfortable talking to other people that are out there that are asking you questions or just trying to talk to you.
Exactly. And my biggest thing when it comes to that sort of thing are Let's Plays. If you go ahead and you watch a Let's Play on, say, YouTube, they're definitely not talking to anybody. They're talking to themselves, and that's what a Let's Play is. And that's where you can learn how to talk to yourself. Because here's the thing. I come into your channel. I want to watch your channel. You don't know who I am. I'm coming into your channel to watch. It's going to take anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes for your viewer count to tell you that I'm there. For that 2 minutes, if you weren't talking while I wasn't there, for that 2 minutes, you're going to be silent. In that 2 minutes, I've formed my opinion and I've left.
Yeah.
And so
I actually,
go ahead.
Sorry. Well, something Sprocket said just reminded me of this new thing that I discovered the other day, which I don't know if this is like a thing that people know about, but I mean, this is a great idea, and I can't believe it's been reoccurringly working. So I use a lot of statistic sites to, because I don't watch most of my statistics while I'm streaming. I don't know how many people are in there. I don't know how active the chat really is, other than actually reading it. But afterwards, I go back and I check my statistics. Let's say most active chat times, and it will like show how active the chat is on like a bar graph. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go watch my VOD and see if there was something I did during that moment to get all those follows or that active chat or something. And I don't know if this, like I said, I don't know if this is a real thing or not, but it seems to be working for me because I've done it a couple times now consciously. But the first time I did it, basically I was streaming and nobody was talking. And I had pretty much exhausted everything I could say about the game. And I was at the point where I was starting to get bored. I don't know, something happened that reminded me of when I visited Sweden. So I started talking about my experiences with the Swedish people and stuff over in Sweden, because it's actually very different than here in America. And chat exploded. Now, I didn't realize this at the time. I realized it when I went back and I saw myself all of a sudden interacting with chat, and people actually were like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute, I'm from Sweden," and so telling stories, interesting or funny stories, seems to like re-grab everybody. Like, wait a minute, Sweden? And they're on another tab or something. They just decided to come on back because all of a sudden you brought up something they want to talk about.
Oh, exactly.
And it works. I'll just, if I feel like I'm losing chat, I'm like, you know what, let me talk about what I saw at the bar last Wednesday or something. I'll throw in some funny little story, and they like, all of a sudden everybody's got an opinion on it, or something they want to say, or they want to talk about some other similar story. It really works.
I completely agree there.
And I cannot believe I don't see this more often on Twitch. That needs to be a thing.
Absolutely. And I will state that's exactly something Daddy Fantastic brought up. An amazing idea. If you have trouble talking to yourself, guys, get a TeamSpeak. You can go to a TeamSpeak. There are free TeamSpeaks out there you can use. Get some friends on there and talk to them. Get somebody to game with in the same room even and talk to them. And that type of interaction will keep people coming back as well. Having that partner there to stream with will help out in you talking back and forth. Dual streaming with another streamer helps with that communication thing. You're talking back and forth constantly, talking to your chat when it comes up, and you'll get tons and tons and tons of people coming in and realizing you're constantly talking. And when you're constantly talking, that's when you're getting the follows, that's when you're getting the views, and that's what people want to see. So that is definitely something that is a big thing when it comes to, constantly talking. This is something that we've talked about before and that we'll continue to talk about. Talk, as you can see.
Talk to yourself.
Exactly. Even on this show, you'd see that I constantly talk. So if somebody else is not talking in TeamSpeak, I'm talking. Whether or not it's something important, something mundane, and maybe I'm just throwing out an anecdote, but you got to make sure that, especially with a stream like this, that somebody's talking. Isn't that right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I found out that some of the best ways to get that they're watching you, they're not just lurkers in your channel. Throw a story out there that is just so asinine and stupid and makes you look like an absolute fool during this story that it will actually get them to at least start laughing and want to know a little bit more of how you found yourself in that situation. I mean, I have hundreds of military stories that I could tell of bar fights and finding myself in places I shouldn't be in that I can tell people, but I don't do that unless they start to interact, and I start doing that by telling little stories that I heard from around my area. There was a bunch of guys that were down here at the bar just the other night that they ended up getting into a fight over a girl, and the thing was, the girl started the fight and she wanted nothing to do with any one of these guys. She wanted the girl that was with them. So that's how that's how the whole fight started out. But see, exactly, right there, caught their interest and they want to know the rest of the story. So I'm going to actually leave you guys hanging there with that. If you want to know it, you got to come into my channel one time. But
there you go.
It's weird stories that gets people interested. So even if you're there on your own, retell a story that you haven't told in years. And just, it'll catch people's interest eventually.
Well, exactly. Guys, I do want to take this time, since it appears that we're done with Q&A, that was the basic question that we had for today. I do want to take the time to let you guys know if you do have questions for HelpDesk that you want to bring up on HelpDesk, just go ahead and send a tweet with the hashtag, the little hashtag symbol, TII HelpDesk. If somebody wants to go ahead and type that in chat, that'd be great. And if you send that tweet out to the TII HelpDesk, I'll automatically receive it. Sprocket will get it. A couple other people who are watching that hashtag will be watching. We'll come up with answers. We'll bring it back on the HelpDesk, and it will be a topic on one of our shows. I do want to take the time to tell you guys, there is one topic left. That's right. I don't even know if you guys can see it on there. Let me see if I can bring this up. Yeah, you guys can only see up to Q&A period. There is one topic that I wanted to bring up today. It's actually below Q&A period. So let's go ahead and just remove some of the stuff that we've been talking about.
Sneaky dog.
Oh, it's hidden.
Yes. All right, guys. So we've got one more thing that we're bringing up. Ad block. That's right.
Last topic.
Sort of. So this is ad block and why you should unlock Twitch. So I'm just going to take a quick poll. There's 5 of us in here. I'm going to start by stating that I love Twitch. Who else in here loves Twitch?
So much.
Well,
Twitch
yeah.
love.
A lot of
I love Twitch.
See? So 5 out of 5 here, guys. And I can guarantee if I ask you guys in the chat, you're all going to say the exact same thing. I love coming to Twitch. I love watching Twitch. Now, here's the thing. Twitch needs to succeed, which means that they need your revenue. Yes, they're getting it from subscribing. They don't get any revenue from donations. But what they do get is ad revenue, which means that you need to whitelist Twitch. Honestly, I can't count. Like, I was watching a stream and somebody, his name is Wild, plays ads about once every hour. Okay? Now, this thing is very, very important to him, not for him to get money, but for Twitch to get money. Now, Twitch itself is part of Amazon. That is correct, Jack. But here's the thing. Amazon has stated Twitch is left to operate on its own. If it doesn't stay in the green, you think Amazon is going to be like, hey, Twitch, you can stick around. We don't care if you're costing us billions of dollars. No. The Amazon needs them to make a profit. That's why they bought them. There's no reason not to watch the ads. I understand that ads can be annoying. If you want to not watch ads and you want to support Twitch, get Turbo. Turbo is an $8 a month feature that allows you to skip the ads automatically. And yet you're still supporting the streamer you're watching if he plays ads. You're still supporting Twitch because Twitch is getting that money. So
Yeah.
that is a very big thing.
When they're turbo, it counts as them watching it, even if they don't, right? Like Twitch
Exactly.
still gives them the credit.
But here's the thing that you need to know. So if you get Turbo, but you leave your ad block on, they don't get credit.
No, AdBlock blocks the communication between you and your browser, and it messes things up. Also, there's another reason I found out just
Maybe
recently.
I should whitelist Twitch.
There's a streamer I watch all the time, and he's a programmer, so he streams just because he's streaming his game dev. So
I
he's
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's not really interested in being partnered or really making any money from that. He's wants to make money on his game. That's all he's concerned about. Apparently, he got offered partnership, directly offered. Like they emailed him Twitch, which is rare. Usually you have to apply and everything. They emailed him asking him to be if he wanted to be partnered. And he actually doesn't, and as far as I know, meet the requirements. And I dug around a little bit because he only gets about 40, 50 viewers. They usually are looking for people over 100, or that can have times where they're over 100. Reason why he got offered it, as I have found out now, is because he makes so much money for them in ad revenue. They wanted him to have transcoding. They wanted him to. So you know what they did? They forced him to get the transcoding without partnership. He's not a partner, but he's transcoded at all times because they make so much money in ad revenue off his channel. Probably because a lot of other developers watch him, so they know, let's turn off ad block and stuff. That they're like, oh, we got to support this guy. We got to make sure his channel is the best quality. So they, believe it or not, that will actually, you want to support a streamer, that actually helps the streamer get more recognized by Twitch because they're going to look at how much they've made off that guy's channel as part of when they're considering him.
Exactly, and there is a ton of reasons to turn off your ad block and get either Turbo or just not have ad block at all and watch the commercials. But I can understand why some people would want to block the ads. And like I said, there is turbo for that because sometimes the ads will even break the player. But if you actually watch the ads and you find ads that are breaking the player, there is a button in the bottom right-hand corner of the ad where you can report the broken ad that's breaking the player, or an ad that won't mute, or things like that. Maybe the ad's just too loud. Maybe it's an ad that you shouldn't be watching. Like, as an example, watching a PG stream and watching condom ads.
Or you can even report it that you've seen it too many times.
Exactly.
Okay, but guys, you can't forget that with this, if you have the right to contact Twitch, and like I did, guys, I run a PG and G stream. Is there something you can do about the ads? And they will try and keep the ads out of there. They can't really do much about it, but they might be able to run a short program to head to your stream specifically to keep the adult content out of there, especially the higher rated games that they play for ads. They have a way to do that. So if you guys are worried about something like that, just get a hold of Twitch. They're here to help you succeed, because when you do, they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all want Twitch to make money. We all want Twitch to be able to spend money on development. And like I said, yes, Amazon owns Twitch. Amazon may keep Twitch alive. They might, even if it's losing money. But do you think Amazon's going to give them additional money to work on development and things like that, so that they can do things like beat out YouTube, add new features, be the number one, stay the number one? And
they barely give them money now.
Exactly.
That's why I whitelisted Twitch.tv on my ad blocker plus.
That's why
the Chrome browser.
The HTML chat, that's why it's taking so long to push out, is they don't really have the people and resources to, just throw it out overnight like a big company would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's annoying. It's annoying for me to see the ad quite often when I had to go visit a channel. Like Dom Chicken, for example.
I need to say something about what was just said in chat, and it might come across very crass and mean, but it's really not. Jack Craft, I know some of the porn stars that stream on Twitch. There are actually good friends of mine.
One of them's awesome.
Okay, one of them is absolutely awesome. Just because they're porn stars doesn't mean that they're doing the exact same thing that they did in those movies on Twitch. A lot of them are here just to play games. Yeah, they look beautiful. Yeah, they show a little bit more than they're supposed to.
Well,
but don't put them down just because that's what they were and they're streaming now.
Well, if Sprocket, if me and you are thinking about the same porn star, she actually kind of she doesn't condone what some of the other ones do. She doesn't even put on makeup when she streams. She's a gamer. She's 100% a gamer. I mean, I've heard her tell stories of playing games with her dad. She's you can't just say, oh well, because she was a porn star that. People make, decisions in their life that don't, you can't say you didn't make any bad decisions. I have. Everybody has. And sometimes in real life, you will do what needs to be done to make money.
Okay, well, Jack, at the same point with that, some of these people that are claiming to be porn stars are not really. They're only doing it to get the publicity for people.
I think there's only
there.
Really 2 or 3.
So you really do need to kind of.
Yeah, some of them.
If you really want to know if they are, do the research on them, and then if they are doing that, send them to Twitch. Get more people to start saying something about it, because that is actually not allowed on Twitch.
Yeah,
and they eventually
you can't show too
them
much.
Down.
Yeah, you cannot show too much.
The other thing is, just like on our stream and every other stream, there is a button at the bottom stream, looks like a gear. Inside there is a report. If you find that somebody is showing something they shouldn't be, feel free to report them. The other thing is, leave the channel. Twitch does check if you report somebody whether or not you left. Because if you report somebody and don't leave, you weren't being serious. You wanted to watch that, but you just wanted to report them because they're doing something you can't. But
they check how long you watched beforehand, too.
Yep. The other thing is that you don't have to watch those channels. Twitch is Twitch. They get to decide who streams on their system, and that's up to them. But that doesn't mean that you have to support that particular streamer. You can, as an example, watch our stream and allow the ads to play, while not watching that stream at all. If you're talking about strippers, or because there are strippers on here as well, guys. I know a couple of them, really nice girls that do stream here, and guys. I'm not going to tell you who, but yes, There are some, and there are the porn stars, and you know what? Some of them are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. And just because they do that for a living doesn't necessarily mean that they're a problem.
Or used to do it.
Exactly, used to. They don't necessarily do it now.
Maybe they're trying to make better choices now.
It really wasn't trying to get you to change your opinion, Jack. It really was to let you know that a lot of these people that claim to be porn stars really are not. And
there's
in
a lot
all honesty,
that are
the
lying.
ones that are porn stars that are streaming on here are trying to get away from that style of life, and they really won't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's only like 3 or 4
They won't advertise
actual real
it that
porn
much,
stars.
but people just recognize them. And I'll tell you what, if somebody's recognized them, they shouldn't have a problem with watching them on Twitch because they watched them somewhere else.
But like I said, you always have the option to close a stream, go to a different stream. That's up to you. We watch who we want to watch. We don't watch who we don't want to watch. As an example, if I didn't want to watch Damien on his channel, I don't have to. I don't have to follow him. I don't have to watch him. I do follow him. I do watch him.
Why?
But we don't have to. We do have that option.
And you actually really should report people that are doing things wrong, because there's a lot of people that get away with stuff because they don't have enough mods. They have a small handful, maybe like a few dozen mods, and 50,000 streamers.
The last reported total unique live streams in 1 month, 1 million.
Whew.
Yeah. So you talk about people streaming.
And they want to cover that with 50 mods?
Yeah. So guys, you got to make sure that you're letting them know what's going on. And yeah, they're probably not going to check out one person clicking report, but that doesn't mean that other people aren't clicking report. If you lead by example, other people may do the same thing. They leave, they go away. You don't necessarily need to call yourself out in their chat or do things like come into other people's chats and talk about it, because all you're doing is promoting them, which is not something you should be doing in any chat. So it's a personal choice. It's up to you. Go ahead and leave if you wish. But unfortunately, guys, we've reached the end of the show. So that means I've got a couple of things that I want to cover, and then we're going to be taking off. So the first thing I want to cover, guys, is next week's episode. That's right, everybody. Next week's episode. Next week's episode is going to be about... Let's see if I can make you guys see it. Here it comes. Oop, I accidentally deleted it.
No.
There we go. So next week's episode, we're going to talk about streamer burnout, managing your time, and coping with quote-unquote failure. And I don't necessarily mean that it's failure, but you want to learn about how to cope with issues. And also preferred streaming settings, high, medium, low, what that means, how to set up your streams, and things like that. We did go over this, I think, in week 1. We're probably going to go over it again. There may be more topics, but those are our main. We have a special guest on next week's show. I am going to do a special shout-out for our special guest. Guys, you should go check him out. He is going to be on our channel next week, helping us learn about streamer burnout, managing time, and coping with failure. That is Geezer HD, everybody. He's a really great streamer, and you guys should check him out. He is an older guy who streams, hence the Geezer portion, and he is a great streamer. So we're going to have him on next week, guys. So the next week's stream might be a little different. I don't know if we're going to be using TS or if we're going to be creating a Skype call. So if those of you who want to join me may need to come in for an early meeting and decide whether or not you want to do it.
The resources of Skype, yeah. I need to save my CPU's power for my laptop,
why
so I don't want to.
Why Skype?
Hashtag TII raid call.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
It needs to be a thing.
It definitely does,
Yes.
and we will definitely be looking at various softwares to use. I do have people helping me out trying to decide what software to use. It's actually up to Geezer what he's most comfortable using. We're going to allow our guests to decide, just because of the fact that some people prefer Skype, some prefer Zoom, some people prefer Raid Call. There's all sorts of different ones that you can use, and this will allow us to have video for those that want it. So
Skype. I prefer everything but Skype.
And we might be using something different, but I just said that is a potential that we might be using. I'm still waiting on Geezer to let me know.
Oh, so you were warning us because you knew.
Hashtag less CPU usage blocks.
All right, so that's going to be for next week. Again, I do want to thank everybody for coming out here today. You guys have been terrific. Now to tell you about the new feature that's coming live on the Help Desk. So I'm going to be talking with Failseed about getting a shout-out command that we can do called HelpDesk. On there is going to be a link. Just a link, that is all. You can go to that link, you can fill out your information. If you are a streamer here on Twitch and you want somebody to critique your stream, whether that's TII member, non-TII member, if you've streamed once, if you've streamed a million times, you can have me personally or one of the TII members, if they want to help out with that, come onto your stream, watch a VOD, maybe secretly watch your live stream, and give you honest critiques. Now, I do want to warn you guys that these will be completely honest. So yes, we are going to state your channel information. We are going to go ahead and direct people over there to check you out if they like what we say. But it also means that there's a downside. The downside being that I'm going to be completely honest. If I see improvements that need to be made, if I see issues with it, I'm going to tell you what they are so that you can improve them. Now, if you want that kind of feedback, you can go ahead, you can fill out the form. All you have to do is, once we get it set up, ! Help Desk, and we'll go ahead and get that up. We might start next week by doing a couple of streamers on TII if they wish to get done, but that is going to be something great, and there's going to be a ton of stuff that you guys can check out. And trust me, it will be a ton of fun, and you guys will learn new stuff every single stream that we show. So thank you very much, guys. This has been TII. We're going to do some closing shout-outs and closing remarks. Why don't we go ahead and start with the first person here. Sprocket, give us some closing remarks and a shout-out.
Guys, just remember, you might be uncomfortable with yourself. Find a way to not be uncomfortable with yourself. When you do, everybody else will love you in your stream when they come to see you. Just honestly remember that.
Thank you very much. Next up, the next person that was here, Omega, give us your closing remarks and a shout-out if you wish.
Say yourself. Don't try to change yourself to please your viewers. You have to be yourself. Of course, you have to also adapt a little bit for your streamers, your viewers, but be yourself in the first place. If you're trying to change yourself, they will know, and it will not work.
Next up, Damien. Closing remarks?
This guy's 78? I'm watching a VOD of him. He is an energetic 78-year-old.
Geezer HD does state that he is 78 years old in his information. He's not actually 78. He does not tell you his age, but he is probably an older streamer on Twitch, which is why he calls himself Geezer.
You're 78. I was like, wow, this guy's doing good. And I'm all thrown off now. What are we doing?
Closing remarks.
Closing remarks. I guess, while you do need to worry about your stream being a stream, like it's almost as if it's a business or an entity of its own that you need to take care of and nurture, you need to have fun. All right? That is what people love to see. It is the greatest thing that will grab somebody, is somebody that is fun and lighthearted. So remember that. Don't push yourself to the point where you're going to have a nervous break, okay?
Nervous breakdown, you say. And I'll go next.
That's what I was going to say.
As I was saying, for this closing remark, I'm going to say be yourself, for one. Number two, be entertaining. 3, and just have a lot of fun and try to come up with some ideas. I mean, I don't know, just to have fun in your own stream, in your own time, in your own schedule. That's how it works.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chronological. Damien, Omega, and Sprocket. We've gone ahead. We put links, all of them, into our chat. You guys can go ahead and click on those and hit follow if you want to go check them out. You can also click on their names and click follow. That's a neat little trick that we have as well. So, guys, I have been Black Dog. You guys have been terrific. We're going to take off now. Everybody in TS, feel free to stick around for the after show. We'll be we'll be back next Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Guys, have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Shoo Shoo Train will be back next week.